Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the National Museum of the American Indian. Thanks to those of you who have stuck around with us through the entire lineup of Sounds of Awareness. This afternoon dedicated to music and poetry from throughout North America. We have our final performance of the day with Leanne Simpson. She's a Anishinaabe. She's a poet, spoken word artist, and a scholar. And her band have dedicated time to the Walking with Our Sisters project, dedicated to missing and murdered Aboriginal women, First Nations women of Canada. So they are here today, all the way from Toronto, to share their melodic words, and I hope you will join me in silencing your cell phones and giving them a very warm welcome.
Bojo Kinuaya, we're so happy and honored to be here in Omawininiwaki today. Our first song is called Road Salt, and it's about a friendship between a deer and a crow. And the word for crow in my language is on deck. Pacing the side of the highway, waiting for rhythm to break, sweating for one more hit before I come out as a fake. Road salt makes me twitch and more comfortable in my skin. On deck can live without trust. I assume that means she's kin.
Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me.
Licking the road is its own humiliation, just like hostages first trap themselves. On deck's a bird on a wire, like I'm a deer on nobody's shelf. This is how to die in a war they insist doesn't exist. On deck never has the whites of my eyes. Unasked questions, unsurveyed cysts.
Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me.
The snow will drown without suffering. The road salt still managing dread fear. On deck, hacking overhead, till we're mid-road again next year. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one lick turns into three. On deck just sits and surveys. I know she can't lie to me.
Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me. Dawn gets eaten by morning, one leg turns into three. On deck sits and surveys, I know she can't lie to me.
Thank you. I'm Mississauga Anishinaabeg, and our territory is on the north side of Lake Ontario. So we're really pleased and honored to be here at the National Museum of the American Indian. This is our first performance in the U.S., and so miigwech takora for having us. It's a little colder where we live, even than today. But spring is just starting, and so last week I was out tapping a sugar bush and starting to collect sap to make maple syrup. And this song is called "The Oldest Tree in the World" and it's a love song to the oldest maple tree in my territory, which has been aged at about 400 years old. So I was thinking about what that tree had seen, the changes. About what you're drinking. You're worrying about what I'm breathing. I like you because you never talk too loud. I breathe it out. You breathe it in. I like you because you hold this all together with the parts I can't see. I breathe it in, you breathe it out. You 11 times my age, me draped in clouds of youth. I think we're the same. I think I know what you've seen, but it's not true. I don't know. I don't. I don't know how to say this without embarrassing you, but I do know I believe in saying things. I do know I believe in the telling. Your wrinkled gray skin is gorgeous, and I hope you don't know what's happening. This next song is about ice fishing. It's about what happens when a poet goes ice fishing. Not a lot of fish get caught, but a poem gets written. It's sad because this year we didn't get to go ice fishing because the lake didn't freeze because the climate's too warm.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
flat on my back on the ice of Shamong. The wind is water falling over my frame, borrowing the parts I can't hang on to. He says to me he wants to die early slowly so he doesn't miss anything. I tell him I'm not that brave. I want to miss everything. The ice wind is singing a single suspended note with no breath, no phrasing, and a benevolent intensity. He talks about a methodic retreat into the background. In the same breath, he talks about fighting like hell till the end of everything. The hole in the ice is healing into slush, and the line is starting to freeze. I make my inside wind and the outside breath the same temperature. He's reading the signs and forecasting tomorrow. I'm taking inventory of unasked questions, wondering which holds the most regret. He gets into the truck, tells me to get in. I say I'll walk. He nods and shuts the door, stopping to wait until I turn towards the shore. One of the great things about my band is that they're all really incredible solo musicians, so you should check out their CDs as well. That was Nick Ferrio on the lap steel, all the way from Peterborough, Ontario. This is my sister, Ansley Simpson. She's a singer-songwriter based out of Toronto with a new album called Breakwall coming out shortly. And on the cello is the famous Chris Dirksen. This next song is called Caribou Ghosts, and it's going out to all of the water protectors at Standing Rock, all of the people that are they're standing up and fighting the good fight with Black Lives Matters. It's a protest song. Drowning. We are the best trained troops that refuse to fight. We are hyped up on aesthetics and tripped up by real life. We don't have time to feel these feelings, so we'll save that for another day. We don't plan for the win, because we always lose anyway. Caribou ghosts and untold stories, bad timing and smashed hearts, train tracks, six-pack, riff-raff, deadening regret, a collection of old parts. We get these tiny gifts of tremendous, unclouded by past dues. We get these tiny moments, but there's never enough glue. So we'll tie ourselves together with bungee cords, luck. Bring the fish, the fire, the new knife. Catharsis is still elusive, so we'll file that for another day. Meet me at the underpass. Rebellion is on her way. Meet me at the underpass. Freedom is on her way. Love is on her way. Rebellion is on her way. No more pipelines. Caribou ghosts and untold stories about timing, smashed hearts. Freedom. Freedom is on her way. Bring the fish, the fire. Bring the water and the trees. Freedom is on her way. Miigwech. This next piece is called She Sang Them Home. And there used to be a resident population of salmon in Lake Ontario. And it used to migrate up through the rivers and the lakes in my territory until they built a lift lock system. And now we haven't had any salmon in my territory since the early 1800s. And so I wrote this piece imagining that the lift locks had mysteriously disappeared, and I was the first salmon back in the Odenabe River. Bojo Odenabe Shke Majamegos Nadijnakaz. It's been a long time. Oa Odenabe. Oa Odenabe. It's this way. I can feel my lateral line pulling forward. Let me taste you. Oh, that feels good on my my gills. My Kovade told her daughter about that feeling, and my great-grandmother told her daughter, my grandmother told my Dodom, and my Dodom told me. It was better than they said. I've never felt like this. It's easy here. Odanabe, 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 Odanabe. Bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing, bubbling, beating, birthing, breathing. Oh, Odanabe. I never thought we'd meet. Careful with me, Odanabe. I'm not strong like those old ones who fasted and swam up here every year. Wewene, Odanabe, wewene. There are more coming from Chinabish. Chinabish, Sakateachuan, Pimadash Kodeyang, Gichigaming, Odanabe, Atikmik Saging, Asin Sagigan, Asin Sagigan, Atikmik Sagigan, Gichigaming, Odanabe, Pimadash Kodeyang, Sakateash Kodeyan, Chinabish. You're quicker than I thought. Is Zizak still here? An old one told me, land of Zizak, land of Megazeh. We're bringing all the ones that are gone. Don't worry about your wounds, Odanabe. They'll heal now. They'll heal now. They're gone. We're bringing Pimazeh. It's okay, Odanabe. You can cry now. They're gone. It's over now. We're all going to be okay. They're gone, and there's more of us waiting to be born. The songs that we're playing today are from an album called Flight, and it's available on Bandcamp and Spotify and iTunes. The next piece is called How to Steal a Canoe. Where I live about 3 blocks from the Canadian Canoe Museum. And so when I'm in a place like this, I like to sing to all of my relatives that are here, sometimes behind glass cases, and sometimes on display. But for me, these are relationships, and for me, they're not objects, they're relationships. Kwe is barefoot on the cement floor, singing to a warehouse of stolen canoes. Bruised bodies, dry skin, hurt ribs, dehydrated rage. Akiwenze says, it's canoe jail. The white skin of a tree is for feeling and slicing and rolling and cutting and sewing and pitching and floating and traveling. Akiwenze says, oh, you're so proud of your collection of Indians. Good job, Jaganash. Good job. Kwe is praying to those old ones by dipping her fingers into a plastic bottle of water and rubbing the drops on the spine of each canoe. Soft words, wet fingers, wet backs. Kwe and Akiwenze are looking each canoe in the eye. One whispers back, take the young one and run. Kwe looks at Akiwenze. Akiwenze takes the sage over to the security guard and teaches him how to smudge the canoe bodies. Fake cop is basking in guilt-free importance. Kwe takes her off the rack and onto her shoulders. She puts her in the flatbed and drives to Shimong. She pulls her out into the middle of the lake and sinks her with 7 stones, just enough to fill her with lake and suspend her in wet. Kwe sings the song and she sings back. Kwe sings the song and she sings back. The lyrics from this set are being published this April in a book called This Accident of Being Last, and it's a book of poetry and short stories. So watch your bookstores for that. If there's still bookstores, there's barely bookstores. Listen to the hesitant beat. Sit at the edge of the woods. Shape shift around the defense. Ban the word should. Follow that bluebird. Past the smoke and contraband. My frightened lower back. A witness on unkept promised land. Hide under Minda Moya's skirt. Wrap swamp tea around your chest. Fill your empty with smoked meat. Vomit this mess. Weave spruce into your fix. Forget missed shots and mean boys. Tie these 7 pieces of heart. Use whiskey as your decoy. Play by the skin of old teeth. The ritual of giving thanks. Laughing hearts and feeding fires. Compasses and riverbanks.
I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost. I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost. I'm just gonna sit here past late. The stars don't care at what cost. You breathe while I whisper a song. This accident of being lost.
So the book is called This Accident of Being Lost, and that's the title track from the book. The next piece is I did not write. It's a poem by Bukowski, but he was kind of a jerk, so we decolonized it and edited it for him. Your life is your life. Don't let it be clubbed into dank submission. Be on the watch. There are ways out. There is a light. It may not be much light, but it beats the darkness. Be on the watch. The aunties will offer you chances. Know them. Take them. You can't beat death, but you can beat death in life sometimes. And the more often you do it, the more light there will be. Your life is your life. Know it while you have it. You are marvelous. The ancestors wait to delight in you. You are marvelous. The ancestors delight in you.
That's really soft.
This next song is called Leaks, and it's from my first album / book called Islands of Decolonial Love, and it's a piece that was written about my daughter, who was 5 at the time, and we were picking wild leeks in our territory, and we ran into a really racist man, and she was destroyed sort of by that incident, and it was heartbreaking because I couldn't protect her. And so I wrote her this. Dirt road, open windows, beautiful one, too perfect for this world. The immediacy of mosquitoes, humidity choking breath, my beautiful singing bird. 5-year-old Gichidakwe, crying silent, petrified tears in the back seat until the dam finally bursts. You are the breath over the ice on the lake. You are the one the grandmothers sing to through the rapids. You are the saved seeds of allies. You are the space between embraces. She's always going to remember this. You are rebellion, resistance, imagination. Her body will remember. You are dug-up roads, 27-day standoffs, the foil of industry prospectors. She can't speak about it for a year, which is 1/6 of her life. For every one of your questions, there's a story hidden in the skin of the forest. Use them as flint, fodder, love songs, medicine. You are from a place of unflinching power, the holder of our stories, the one who speaks up. The chance for spoken up words drowned in ambush. You are not a vessel for white settler shame, even if I am the housing that's failed you. This is our last track. So, miigwech for coming, you've been a fantastic audience. Really happy to be here. If you get a chance, go up to the level number 4 and check out our universes, the Anishinaabe section. You'll learn a little bit more about some of the pieces that we've been talking about, some of the cultural references. This song is about eagles, and our word for eagle is megaze. Two clandestine eagles find you in front of this lineup, signing things and pretending nice, wearing professionalism like it's a Halloween costume. And the leading one comes in from behind you, and the tip of her wing grazes the small of your back in an oval that's method and rhythm, like it's all you'll ever have, and she's not going to waste 1 second of it. Then the second one comes in on a sharper angle and tight circles your form, starting at your roots, rising and then falling. Her feathers are the wind on the hairs of your skin, and she's flying conical spirals up past your head and then down again, brushing your heels, the backs of your knees, the cracks on your lips. All the while, the first one's wing is whispering to the skin of your lower back, while her beak is sucking the burning panic from the place you keep it hidden behind the sorrow in your breast's bone. Miigwech. Safe travels. Go up, Min.
I just want to say thank you all so much for coming. That does conclude our Sounds of Awareness afternoon.